But there are two fatal conceits I will mention very quickly on our side, on the conservative argument as well. One of them is our own technocracy. We must be careful not to be overemphasizing policy and wonkish solutions. Our technical constitutionalism. We can think too narrowly about the Constitution rather than more broadly. I think we're also more prone to populism as well, thinking that somehow we can make arguments and they will arise on their own and solve all of our problems. I'll leave you with this. What we need in my argument is what I would call constitutional politics, the Madisonian solution. Right? Very firm in our principles, a firm understanding of the principles of our country and constitutional itself. But we have to understand that the way those principles are brought into practice are through the institutions of constitutional government. You win elections, not just for the sake of winning elections, but for getting the right people into the right places so that their understanding of principle can be exerted using the constitutional powers of their offices. At the federal level, that means getting control of an institution like Congress, using its powers to limit government again, to challenge the executive. It means getting control of the presidency again. It means fighting over those precise constitutional institutions that Madison created in the first place. And at the state level, it works as well. Governors and state legislatures are the ones who must fight those battles, and they must keep in mind a whole range of options. We should not put all of our eggs into one basket, nor should we look for silver bullets. States can coordinate their activities. They can set up legal challenges, and they must do so in great amounts, given whenever opportunities they can. The health care bill is being a perfect example of that. They can drag their feet. They can try to have new and more dynamic state and federal relationships. They can compete, the idea of competitive federalism that Matt Mayer is going to talk about. But that understanding of state activity within the constitutional structure shouldn't become ideological. And here I'll make another statement which we can bring up in conversation further if we would like. I would make a distinction between this range of things I have suggested that we ought to do and that states ought to aggressively pursue, that Madison describes himself using a term which I do not suggest be used for a talking point. He called it interposition. That is not nullification. And I make a very important legal distinction between the two and suggest to you that nullification, the idea that you can legally, as a single state, overthrow federal constitutional law, is not an option. This being South Carolina, we can always come back to that conversation. But these, I think, are important questions, and I think the Madisonian solution, the man who's opposed nullification in 1832, is the right answer. I think the fact of the matter is that we don't need extra constitutional solutions in America right now. What we need is a better constitutional argument, and the Constitution itself is our guide. It's our best guide. It is the path forward. What we need is the hard work, the prudential work, the statesmanlike work of politics, good old-fashioned politics, which is why what you're doing here is so important, why what we do at the state level is so important, crucial, why fighting all these things for the sake of constitutional self-government is important, and that, at the end of the day, is why and how we're going to save the blessings of liberty.